Hey guys, tonight we start small but smart. Picture this, you're brushing your teeth, foam building up in your mouth, when a tiny British voice from your phone says, "Mind the gap." No, you're not hallucinating. You're just squeezing in 5 minutes of English while scrubbing your molars. Later, as you wait for your coffee to brew, you repeat a phrase like "What time does the train leave?" over and over until it becomes muscle memory. 15 minutes. That's all. And no, you don't need to cancel your life, your job, or that late-night scroll through conspiracy theories on TikTok. You probably won't survive this episode with your old excuses intact. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know in the comments where are you listening from and what time is it right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You've heard it before, just 15 minutes a day can change your life. But most people either laugh at that or treat it like the nutritional advice on a cereal box. Technically true, but rarely followed. Here's the catch, it is true a broken bar if those 15 minutes are done the right way. You're not here to pass an exam next week. You're here to become someone who casually drops English phrases into conversation like it's no big deal. The key isn't how long you study, it's how often and how smart. Most learners set Mount Everest level goals like, today, I'll study English for 3 hours, which is adorably broken bar until Netflix seduces them and they end up watching a reality show about people who marry strangers on site. Spoiler, they don't get fluent either. So tonight, we're flipping the script. You're going to learn how to master English in microdoses like vitamins for your language brain. Imagine you're planting seeds every day, just a few. Over time, a jungle of fluency grows. It's not glamorous at first, no flashy results. But slowly, your mouth starts mimicking native rhythms. Your ears catch phrases in airport announcements. Your brain stops translating and just knows. Here's your first power move. Anchor English to daily habits. Brushing your teeth, play a 1-minute audio. Waiting for coffee, repeat a key phrase 5 times. Commuting, shadow a native voice for a few stops. Those in-between moments are golden. In fact, they're everything. Historically, this isn't new. In the 1800s, German inventor Heinrich Schliemann learned multiple languages by sneaking flashcards into his factory lunch breaks. He eventually discovered the site of ancient Troy, so yes, 15-minute learners can literally uncover lost civilizations. Historians still argue whether his language methods were revolutionary or just obsessive, but no one denies they worked. Here's the fringe bit. A 2016 study, we won't name names, claimed that studying English while walking improves retention by 35%. Was it legit science or just some researcher getting paid to stroll? Debatable. But hey, try it and see. At worst, you get your steps in. The hardest part? Believing it's enough. Your brain will scream, you need more time. It'll guilt trip you into feeling lazy. Don't listen. That's like saying brushing your teeth for 2 hours once a week is better than 2 minutes daily. Spoiler, it's not. Daily repetition, a short and sweet wins. So, starting now, I want you to pick your anchor points. Things you already do every day, without fail, then sneak English into them. Choose one phrase to obsess over each day. Seriously. 1, not 10, not an entire TED Talk. Just how much is this? Or where's the bathroom? Or this coffee is terrible. Own it. Say it 50 times. Whisper it. Shout it in your head while walking. Murmur it while cooking. Eventually, these phrases layer up. You'll look back a month later and realize that you didn't just study English. You became the kind of person who uses English. Fluency isn't built in massive chunks. It's baked into your tiny, repeatable moments. Remember, you don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need today, this moment. 15 minutes, a phrase, a voice, a spark, and we're just getting started. You start to notice it the weirdest way. You're standing in line at the grocery store, zoning out, and suddenly you hear someone behind you say, "Excuse me," in English, and your brain, a broken bar, just gets it. No pause, no translation, no internal Google search. It clicks. That, my friend, Is your brain on English? Let's get into what's actually happening up there under your skull. When you study English, especially in daily, bite-sized moments, your brain starts rewiring itself. Neurons, which are basically the gossiping mean girls of the brain, start firing new messages. Hey, we've got a new thing happening here. Broken bar English is important now. Over time, those neurons build what's called neural pathways, little shortcut highways that make understanding and using English faster and smoother. Here's the kicker. Your brain loves repetition, but it hates boredom. That's why cramming grammar rules for 3 hours straight feels like being trapped in a dentist's chair with no anesthesia. It's not just painful, it's ineffective. Your brain is like a dog. You need to train it with short, fun, meaningful exercises, or it'll run off chasing squirrels, aka Instagram reels and snack cravings. This is where the 15 minutes a day method becomes genius. It gives your brain just enough challenge to build those language highways, without making it want to riot. Want a historical flex? In the early 20th century, Italian educator Maria Montessori revolutionized learning by saying, "Don't cram. Instead, guide learners through real life, hands-on experience." Sound familiar? Her method built language fluency in toddlers just by letting them play and explore. Historians still argue whether her approach works best for adults too, but one thing's for sure, her toddlers spoke better French than most adults do after 5 years of high school classes. Now here's a little fringe fact. Did you know some polyglots, people who speak 5 or more languages, train their brain by listening to languages while asleep? It's called sleep learning, and although science is iffy about how much it actually helps, some swear by it. They say your subconscious absorbs sounds and rhythms even when you're dreaming about falling off a cliff or showing up to work in your underwear. But whether you're asleep or awake, the core idea stays the same. The more natural exposure you give your brain, the more fluent it becomes. This is why textbooks are limited. They feed your brain about English. But real listening, real speaking, that feeds your brain in English. So what can you do right now, practically? Start by choosing real voices. Podcasts, YouTube videos, movie scenes, anything where native speakers are just being themselves. You want rhythm, intonation, slang, and emotion. Grammar books won't teach you that. People in the US say, "Give me a second," instead of "give me a second." But your ears will catch it instantly when you listen like you mean it. Another smart trick: mix up your media. Watch one video where someone speaks slowly and clearly. Then, the next day, throw yourself into the deep end with something fast and messy, like a New Yorker ranting about subway delays. Your brain adapts faster when it's forced to handle variety. And here's a mental hack that'll save you from burnout: stop thinking you need to understand everything. You don't. Understanding 60% of something juicy is better than understanding 100% of something boring. Think of your brain as a sponge. Even if it doesn't get every word, it's soaking in patterns, sounds, context. Trust me, those patterns will resurface when you least expect it. You'll suddenly know the right word without remembering when you learned it. It'll feel like magic, but it's just neuroscience with a little flair. So tomorrow, when you're tempted to skip your daily English moment because 15 minutes won't do anything, remember this: your brain is literally being reshaped by every second of input. You're not just studying, you're rewiring yourself, building a new version of you, a one who thinks, listens, and eventually dreams in English. And for the love of caffeine, please don't cram grammar tables at 2 a.m. That's not fluency, that's punishment. We're going deeper next. You slip in your earbuds while stirring your oatmeal. The morning sun's barely up, and some cheerful British podcast host is saying something about tea, traffic, and trousers. You don't catch every word, but your ears are trying, your brain's leaning in, and that's the magic. You're doing what I call micro-listening, and it's one of the fastest ways to train your brain in real-world English. See, there's a major misunderstanding out there. People think if they can't understand everything, it's not working. That's like thinking you can't get stronger unless you lift 100 pounds on day one. Nope. Language doesn't work like that. You build comprehension through little jolts, just like these 5 minutes here. 7:30 until your ears get sharper than your caffeine addiction. Now, here's why micro-listening works. When you hear a native speaker talk, your brain doesn't just hear words, it hears rhythm, stress, pauses, emotion. These are all clues. Imagine watching a cooking show with the subtitles off. You won't get the exact recipe, but you'll know when it's spicy. That's listening, too. The real trick is not trying to catch everything, it's catching something. Then, tomorrow, you hear that something again, and your brain says, wait a minute, I know this one. That's how it locks in. Let's travel back for a second. During World War II, spies were trained to pick up code phrases in foreign languages by listening in bursts. Short, focused audio. Why? Because long sessions fried their focus. But 5-minute drills, gold. Historians still argue whether that method built true fluency or just survival phrases. But hey, if it's good enough for a spy, a broken bar. And if you need a French twist, in the 1990s, a language experiment had volunteers listen to conversations at 1.5x speed. The goal? Force their brains to adapt faster. Apparently, the brain did start recognizing key sounds more efficiently. But some participants also reported stress dreams about arguing with hyperactive parrots. So broken bar, maybe ease into it. Now here's what to do. Make short, native audio your best friend. No textbook voices. No robotic pronunciation. Find real humans having real conversations. Movies, podcasts, TikToks, even game streamers yelling about lag. Then listen in 3 steps. First time, just let it wash over you. Don't try to understand, just vibe. Second time, pick one sentence that jumps out. Try to repeat it. Third time, mumble along, out loud. Sound ridiculous? It's fine. That's not just listening, that's training. You're turning your ears into radar dishes for real-life English. And let's not forget where you do it. While walking, cooking, waiting in line, hiding from your responsibilities. These are prime micro-listening moments. You don't need a desk, you need intention. Oh, and loop things. Repetition isn't boring if it's natural. If there's a clip you love, play it again tomorrow, and again the next day. Your brain loves hearing the familiar. That's how babies do it. And let's be honest, you've probably rewatched your favorite TikTok 20 times anyway. Why not do it with English? Here's one more trick. Pick voices you like. Seriously, if someone's voice grates on your soul, you won't listen. But if their accent makes your brain purr like a sleepy cat, you'll come back for more. Motivation equals attraction. Don't fight it. Eventually, those 15-minute sessions will surprise you. You'll catch a phrase you never tried to learn. You'll understand a joke. You'll whisper along without realizing. That's the moment. That's when you know, your ears have leveled up. So tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the cows, press play. Choose your English. Let it pour into your brain like background music. You don't need to control it. You just need to let it in. 15 minutes. One voice. One phrase. That's your mission. No pressure. No exams. Just you, your ears, and the slow, steady unfolding of fluency. You open your mouth, and nothing comes out. That's the nightmare. Right? You know the words, you've read the grammar, you even understand the question, but your tongue just sits there like a frozen slug. That's where shadowing comes in, but not the boring kind. Shadowing, in case you haven't met before, is the act of repeating what you hear immediately after hearing it, like an echo. A native speaker says, "Can I help you with that?" And you repeat, "Can I help you with that?" Right after them, not later. It sounds basic, but when done right, this single technique can turn passive learners into fluent speakers. Fast. But most people mess it up. They either go too fast, trying to copy everything in one go and sounding like a malfunctioning robot, or too slow, waiting until the sentence ends to awkwardly parrot it back. Here's how to do it smartly. Step 1. Choose the right material. You want real, emotional, everyday speech. Movie scenes, vloggers, interviews, anything where the speaker sounds like an actual person, not an audiobook narrator from 1998. Think Marvel movies, not monotone language apps. Step 2. Play just one sentence. Pause. Repeat it out loud. Not in your head. Not as a whisper. Your brain needs to hear your voice physically match the rhythm, tone, stress, and flow. You're not just copying words, you're copying music. Historically speaking, this is ancient. In ancient Rome, orators like Cicero trained by copying their mentors' speeches line by line. Historians still argue whether shadowing was truly the backbone of Roman rhetoric, or just one of many techniques. But one thing's certain: echoing great speakers builds real fluency. Now here's the fun fringe part. Some actors preparing for roles in foreign languages shadow dialogue for months. One actress reportedly spent 6 weeks repeating a single monologue in Portuguese every morning during her shower routine. She wasn't trying to become fluent just to sound like she was. Guess what? It worked. Her accent fooled native speakers. Your shower has that same power, if you're brave enough to use it. You don't need to start with long scripts. Just 3 words, short, emotional, repetitive. Pick phrases like, "Are you serious? Come on, man. That's not what I meant." Say them 10, 20, 30 times. Let them roll around in your mouth until they feel native. That's fluency, not grammar tests, not vocabulary lists. It's being able to blurt out "no way" without thinking. Here's a tip no one tells you: exaggerate. Mimic the voice exactly. If the speaker drops their pitch at the end, you drop yours. If they sound annoyed, you sound annoyed. You're not just copying words, you're acting, and your brain loves it. Shadowing is also the best way to kill translation delay, that awkward pause where your brain flips your thoughts into English. Instead, you'll build direct routes between ideas and English expressions. No middleman, no waiting. You'll know it's working when phrases start popping into your head uninvited. You drop your keys and mutter, "Seriously?" Or you burn your toast and go, "Great." A broken bar, it's not forced. It's just there. That's your shadowing showing off. The best part? You don't need a teacher. You don't need a script. You don't even need Wi-Fi. You just need a voice, your voice, and 15 minutes. Walking to the store? Shadow your favorite podcast. Washing dishes? Echo a scene from The Office. Sitting on the toilet? Hey, no judgment, to shadow away. Eventually, your mouth will move with English, not after it. Your voice will match native rhythm, and you won't need to think so hard. The frozen slug will become a cobra, quick, sharp, and automatic. So tonight, pick one voice, pick one sentence, echo it into your phone, into your mirror, into the night, again, and again, and again. Don't just learn English, become it. You know what's better than memorizing a word? Memorizing a chunk, a phrase, a bite-sized unit of real, working English that you can toss into conversation like a pro. Welcome to the world of high-frequency chunks, your secret weapon for sounding fluent fast. Think of these chunks like Lego pieces. Words by themselves are like individual bricks, so they don't do much until you snap them together. But phrases like "at the end of the day," or "can I get a broken bar" are pre-built little structures. Use them right, and boom, you sound fluent, confident, native-ish. Now, why are chunks so powerful? Because they bypass grammar. Seriously, you don't need to understand why. "How long does it take?" is correct. You just use it, over and over, until it feels automatic. It's like muscle memory, but for your mouth. Let me tell you what most learners do wrong. They try to build every sentence from scratch, like they're constructing IKEA furniture with no manual and half the screws missing. Meanwhile, native speakers are using ready-made chunks all day long. "I'm good, thanks." No worries. "It depends." You've probably heard these 1,000 times. That's because native English is 80% predictable phrases. Why invent when you can borrow? Historically, this goes way back. In medieval England, scribes were trained to copy entire phrases of Latin scriptura, not because they understood each word, but because the patterns mattered more than the grammar. Historians still argue whether this created better thinkers or just great memorizers, but one thing's clear: they could chant those chunks in their sleep. Fringe fact time: in the 1980s, a language professor tried teaching his students only using common phrase as no grammar, no vocab lists, just chunks. The class outperformed traditional learners in real conversations after just 6 weeks. His experiment was never widely adopted, but the results wild. So, what's a smart chunk strategy for you? Step 1. Pick your first 10. Look for chunks that match your daily life. Here are a few to get you started. Could I get a broken bar? I'm not sure. What do you think? It's up to you. That's a good question. Write them down. Say them every day. Use them in different tone as a serious, sarcastic, playful. Make them yours. Step 2. Use one chunk per day everywhere. Your mission is simple. Choose a chunk and use it 30 times that day. In your head, out loud, whispering while walking the dog, saying it to your reflection like a dramatic soap opera star. Let's say you pick I'll have the broken bar. Use it while making coffee. I'll have the strong one. Use it while picking dinner. I'll have the pizza. Even when it makes no sense, just say it. Your brain doesn't care about context. It cares about rhythm and repetition. Step 3. Spot chunks in the wild. Watch a show, hear a cool phrase, pause, write it down, say it back. That's yours now. Start collecting them like rare Poké tilde copyright Mona, except these actually help you get a job. Pro tip: keep a chunk journal. It's not fancy. Just a notes app or scrap paper where you jot down any phrase you hear twice. If it shows up more than once, it's probably worth knowing. And here's the beautiful part: when you use chunks, fluency sneaks up on you. You'll be talking to someone and suddenly drop, I mean, it's kind of tricky, and they'll blink and go, wait, are you fluent? And you'll smile and say, it depends. You won't need to think about how to say things. You'll just say them, like magic. Like a magician who practices every trick 50 times a day in their bedroom. Yes, that's you now. So today's challenge: pick your chunk. Say it like it's your new catchphrase. Own it. Abuse it. Let it annoy your houseplants. Let it echo in your hallway. The goal isn't to sound perfect. The goal is to sound real. 15 minutes. One chunk. Infinite power. You're doing the dishes. Soap suds everywhere. A plate slips, nearly shatters, but instead of cursing in your native language, your mouth blurts out, "Oh, come on." And just like that, you've crossed a line. You've stopped learning English and started thinking in it. All because you've been talking to yourself like a maniac. Congrats. You've unlocked the secret superpower of self-talk. Now, let's be clear. Talking to yourself in English might sound weird. It might feel weird, but it's one of the smartest, fastest ways to build fluency. Why? Because you get unlimited speaking time, zero judgment, and no one correcting your pronunciation mid-sentence with, actually, it's pronounced thought, not taught. Here's how it works. You narrate your life out loud in English. Doesn't matter if it's in full sentences or broken baby talk. The point is to get your brain used to forming English phrases on the fly. Okay, now I'm cutting onions. Where's the lid for this stupid container? Ugh, why is it always the left sock missing? Every time you speak, you build fluency not through studying, but through doing. Historically speaking, this isn't new. In fact, ancient Greek philosophers used self-dialogue as a thinking tool. Socrates was basically the og of talking to himself. Historians still argue whether he was just methodical or slightly unhinged, but hey, he got results. And here's a weird little fringe story for you. In the 1990s, a Canadian linguist started learning Japanese solely by narrating his every move out loud. No textbooks, no teachers, just him, his thoughts, and a very confused roommate. Within 6 months, he held full conversations in Tokyo with native speakers. His grammar, rough. His fluency, unbelievable. You can do the same. No need to move to Japan. Just move into your own brain a broken bar with an English accent. Let's break it down into 3 levels. Level 1, the whisper stage. Start by narrating simple actions. I'm brushing my teeth. Time to check Instagram. Where did I leave my keys? Whisper it. Mumble it. No pressure. You're just planting seeds. Level 2, the mirror monologue. Pick a chunk from yesterday. I like. What do you think? And try to use it in different fake conversations. Stand in front of your mirror and roleplay. Hey, do you like this shirt? The broken bar. What do you think? I think it's a little tight. Yes, you're talking to your reflection. Yes, you're crushing it. Level 3, the voice memo game. This one's bold. Record yourself. Pick a topic like what I did today or why I hate folding laundry. And just speak. No script, no prep, just ramble for 30 seconds, then hit replay. Cringe? Maybe. Growth? Absolutely. You'll hear what works, what doesn't, and you'll improve faster than you think. Important tip: don't judge yourself. You're not trying to win an Oscar. You're trying to get comfortable forming thoughts in English without freezing. The more you talk to yourself, the less time your brain needs to translate. Eventually, you'll go straight from thought to speech just like a native. Here's another trick. Ask yourself questions. What do I want for dinner? Why is this traffic so bad? Did I leave the stove on? Answer them. Seriously. Carry on full conversations with yourself. You're not weird. You're fluent in progress. And for the shy folks, try inner monologues. Just think in English. Narrate your feelings silently. That's still practice. That's still wiring your brain. What you'll notice over time is this: your hesitation disappears. You stop searching for the right word. You start choosing what you do know instead of freezing on what you don't. You adapt, you improvise, and suddenly, you're not learning English, you're living it. So today, talk to yourself, loudly, softly, dramatically. It doesn't matter. Just keep those English words flowing through your day like background music. Let them wrap around your thoughts, sneak into your grocery list, echo through your to-do notes. Because at the end of the day, if you can talk to yourself, you can talk to anyone. You open a book, the kind with that new paper smell, slightly creased spine, and maybe a cartoon cow on the cover. You read one sentence, then two. But soon, your brain starts drifting. Oh, what's for dinner? Did I reply to that text? Wait, how long has this fly been in the room? And just like that, your English reading practice turns into a staring contest with page 12. Relax. That doesn't mean you're a bad learner. It just means you haven't met lazy reading yet, your new best friend. Lazy reading is intentional, low-pressure reading. It's how kids learn to read slowly, happily, and without worrying about every unfamiliar word like it's a bomb. And guess what? It's way more effective than pushing through Shakespeare at midnight with a dictionary and a headache. Let's start simple. Choose books that are easy, not a little challenging, not good for my level. I mean easy. Books where you understand 95% of the words. This sounds counterintuitive, but that's how you build speed, comfort, and, weirdly, confidence. Reading is like jogging. If every step is painful, you'll stop. Historically, reading has always been tied to fluency. Back in the Renaissance, wealthy students learned Latin by reading Bible stories and fables and not academic texts. Historians still argue whether that made them fluent readers or just great at pretending to be pious, but the method worked. Easy input, repeated often. And here's your fringe fact of the day: some English learners get addicted to reading children's books on purpose. Why? Because the language is clear, visual, and full of repeated phrases. One guy I read about read The Very Hungry Caterpillar 30 times before moving on to Harry Potter, and it worked. By the end, he knew more food vocabulary than most native toddlers. Priorities. Here's how to make lazy reading work for you. Step 1. Choose your level. This is key. If a book makes your brain sweat, drop it. Find something fun. Graphic novels, short stories, graded readers, fairy tales, even comics. If it keeps you turning the page, it's perfect. Step 2. Don't translate. You will see new words. You will want to pause and look them up. Don't. Not unless it's really bothering you. Instead, guess the meaning from context. Let your brain build intuition, not a word list. After all, when you read in your native language, you don't stop every 3 sentences to Google the Latin origin of sandwich. Step 3. Read aloud. Sometimes not the whole book, just one paragraph a day. Reading aloud activates speaking muscles, helps pronunciation, and makes you feel like you're doing a dramatic reading at a fancy poetry event. Bonus points if you do voices. Step 4. Loop the good stuff. Read your favorite paragraph twice, or 10 times. Rereading equals reinforcement. You're training your brain to recognize patterns. That's what fluency is. And let's talk about something powerful: a rhythm. Written English has a beat, a flow. The more you read, the more you feel it. You start to recognize what sounds right. That's how you begin to sense grammar, instead of memorizing it. For example, After seeing she doesn't like a broken bar 20 times, your brain just knows it. You won't need to remember rules about auxiliary verbs or negation. You'll just say it. Want to take it up a notch? Keep a quote journal. Write down lines you love, funny, useful, dramatic. Say them out loud. Make them part of your everyday language. Suddenly, you're not just learning English, you're collecting it. And remember this, you don't need to finish the book. There's no medal. If you're bored, drop it. English is not school. English is your life tool. Use it like that. So tonight, pick something easy, something silly, something lazy. Sit down with it. Read 5 minutes. 10. Whisper a line to yourself. Smile when you understand something without thinking. That's the magic. That's progress. Reading doesn't have to be a chore. Let it be a joy. Let it be light. Let it be lazy and let it work. You're sitting on your bed, phone in hand, eyes squinting. You open the voice recorder app, hesitate for a second, then press the big red button. A broken bar. Hi. Today a broken bar. Mo broken bar went to the star. A broken bar. You cringe. You stop. You replay it. You cringe harder. Congrats. You've just completed the most uncomfortable, most effective English fluency exercise there is, the 5-minute voice memo trick. Let me say this up front, it's awkward. It's weird. It feels like you're performing a talent show for an invisible, judgmental audience. But if you stick with it, this tiny, daily habit will transform your pronunciation, your confidence, and your ability to speak without freezing like a confused squirrel in traffic. Why? Because voice memos force you to speak in real time. No backspace, no autocorrect, no perfect script. Just you, your brain, and your voice figuring it out on the fly, exactly like in a real conversation. Let's rewind history for a second. In the early days of radio, broadcasters trained by recording themselves and analyzing their speech for tone, clarity, and rhythm. They didn't just speak well, they listened to how they sounded and adjusted. Historians still argue whether this made them better speakers or just more self-conscious. Either way, the method worked. And it still does. Now here's a fringe tidbit for you. One language coach in Korea made his students record a 5-minute English diary entry every single day for a year. No editing, no preparation, just raw, daily voice. The result: most of them improved faster than students in traditional classes, and a few even started podcasting afterward. So broken bar, be careful. You might accidentally become an influencer. Let's talk about how to use this trick smartly. Step 1. Set a tiny timer. Don't aim